Hello. We are back with another deck tech and some gameplay. This time we've got Omnath Tribal. It is another one of my brews, and I am quite fond. This is a bit of a storm deck, as many of my decks turn out to be in the end. It's a bad habit, I know, but I can't help it. The ramp package is robust, including, in particular, Ashnod's Altar, Nisa Resurgent Animist, which is the landfall, add a mana, second time, reveal cards until you hit an elf or elemental and put that into your hand, and Lotus Cobra, being some of the more important ones. We got Dorks, we got Halfling, Tangled Florahedron, any elemental that helps you ramp is in here. Leafkin Druid, Leafkin Avenger is kind of neat. It can add a lot of mana sometimes. And it can also win the game by doing the 8 mana deal 4. And sometimes 8 mana deal more. But aside from that, aside from all the normal ramp stuff, which I don't necessarily need to get into a whole ton, we've got a very tiny interaction package of Swords to Plowshares, Wash Away, which probably, if I'm running all of the staples in any given deck, it should always be in there. I'm not running this in my Kyodai deck, the Hidden Yoriok deck that I made a deck tech on. It would almost certainly make it better. Sometimes I'll play it, sometimes I won't. I don't think this card should exist, but that's neither here nor there. Terra Sunder, much less efficient, but still pretty good. Gets rid of anything. And Colony Ambush because it's a land. And this deck really likes its lands. Then my tutor package is much more robust. We've got the Fauna Shaman. I'm still missing Fiend Artisan in here just because I haven't put it in. But I probably will after this. A Fauna Shaman, discard a creature card to grab a creature card out of your deck and put it into your hand. Assemble the Team, which is a cute alchemy card. You pay 2 mana to search the top third of your deck and put a card into your hand from there and shuffle. Neoform, sack a creature, tutor up a creature with a mana value equal to 1 more than the sacrificed creature. Pyre of Heroes is really good in here since it's an elemental deck. It's 2 mana, sack a creature. Search your library for a creature card that shares a creature type with the sacrificed creature and has mana value equal to that creature's mana value plus 1 and put it into play. And the fact that this is like a repeatable Neoform is just incredible to me. This is going into a couple of my decks now that I have one. Balagad Recovery is some recursion. There are a couple things that don't quite fit in here, but mostly it's the tutors. Eldritch Evolution, Neoform, but plus 2 instead. And you can get anything plus 2 or less. So it's a much more versatile tutor. Green Sun's Twilight. This is a big mana deck, so often you'll be able to cast the Giant Axe and put something good into play. It's not necessarily exactly what you need, but there are enough hits that it's worth it. Finale of Devastation, Invasion of Ikoria, Chord of Calling, and Roko all essentially do the same thing. You pay X mana and colors or whatever, and you get a creature out of your deck, you put it into play. With Finale of Devastation, if X is 10 or more, your creatures get plus X and gain haste until end of turn, so it's also a win con. Alright, we've got a small clone package. Well, I say small, but 6 cards is pretty substantial. The standouts here being Spark Double and Quasi Duplicate. Spark Double because you can clone your Omnaths, and Quasi Duplicate because it's 2 clones in 1, which is very nice. I'm going to skip this big old package for now and go on to Omnath, Locus of Rage, which was recently added to Arena, which I'm very happy about. So we've got our Omnath package. Locus of All, which is the least Omnath of all of the Omnaths in my opinion, but that's okay. It gets you an extra card every turn. Sometimes, very rarely, it'll make you some mana, but mostly it just draws a card every turn. and lets you keep all of your mana between phases and whatnot. It just becomes black mana, which is probably the more relevant part, maybe, but it's an elemental. It does elemental things. Omnath, Locus of Rage is a good win condition with Ashnod's Altar. Has landfall, make a 5/5 elemental, and whenever this or another elemental dies, you deal 3 damage to any target. It's a pretty good kill condition. If I just have a bunch of elementals and wipe the board or sack them or go for an attack, it puts the opponent into a very difficult situation. Omnath, Locus of Creation is pretty decent. It just helps get the storm going, really, with that 4 mana from the second landfall. But enters the battlefield, draws a card. Landfall, gain 4 life the first time. Second time, add 4 mana. Third time, deal 4 damage. It's honestly, it's okay. Omnath, Locus of the Royal is quite good. Being able to start throwing around counters and throwing a big chunk of damage out when it enters the battlefield is very nice. Yeah, throws around counters when you landfall. And then the honorary Omnath, Risen Reef. I could have put this in the other package, but this is so thoroughly the best card in the deck and the one you need to tutor for first that I thought it belonged in with the Omnaths. It is an honorary Omnath for sure. Whenever it or another elemental enters the battlefield, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't, put it into your hand. Woo, this card is insane. And we're about to find out why. So, the meat and potatoes of the deck. This is what gets the deck going. We've got 2 mana for Ral's Reinforcements. Makes 2 elementals. No other text. Blanchwood Prowler is an elemental that costs 2 mana. Sometimes you can get a land card with it, which is very good, very relevant. Grinning Ignis is a combo engine monster. You play it for 3, you can pay 1 to return it to your hand and add 3 mana. So, if say you have a Lotus Cobra or a Nisa, or some clones of Lotus Cobra, say, and you're throwing your Grinning Ignis into play with the Risen Reef, all of a sudden you're going infinite and drawing all of your cards and doing all of the things. Let's go Valaka Awakening. It's just a nice MDFC. It is a land on one side, and it can draw you a lot of cards if you need to dig. Scoot Swarm. I think pretty much everyone knows Scoot Swarm. If not, it's a landfall, make a copy of itself, a token copy. It only happens if you have 6 or more lands, but you do. You always have 6 or more lands in this deck. Otherwise, it'll make a 1/1 that isn't a copy, but my god, Scoot Swarm. Lagamos, Hand of Hatred. This is a cute one. It just makes an elemental at the beginning of combat during each of your turns, which is pretty neat. Very rarely will you ever get to use the ability, but I suppose technically it could happen. If 5 or more creatures die during a turn, you can tap it and search your library for a card. And it gives you the first one for free, so it's possible. The One Ring is just a draw engine and some protection. It's good. Like, the One Ring's just a good card. Then we've got Panharmonicon along with Yarok the Desecrated, both of which double enter the battlefield abilities of both. This one works on lands, right? Nope. This one's only creatures. So this one doubles on the creatures, but Yarok does double lands and creatures and anything else. So those both get the engine going pretty well. Ashaya, Soul of the Wild, is insane. It makes all of your creatures, into non-token creatures, into lands. And all those lands trigger landfall, and all those landfalls make more creatures or mana or what have you. Card is wild. Joyful Storm Sculptor. This probably doesn't need to be in here. It's pretty inefficient, but it is just another example of 5 mana, make 2 elementals. No other text. Says something about Convoke, but all it does is make some elementals. Tatiova, Benthic Druid. Excellent card. Landfall, draw a card, gain a life. Absolutely great. Ancient Green Warden. You may play land cards from your graveyard. If a land entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. I guess I should have clumped that with Yarok and Panharmonicon, since it is another trigger doubler. And an elemental. Most of these things are elementals, not all of them, but Muldrotha. This is all of the recursion basically in the deck. Well, I guess there's one other piece, but whatever. Muldrotha lets you cast a permanent of each, play a permanent of each type out of your graveyard each turn. Quite a good card. And it's an elemental, and it's big. Titan of Industry, just a big kind of all-arounder. It can destroy artifacts and enchantments if you really need to. Gain some life. Honestly, it's not even that good. Maybe this one has to come out. It's not a great payoff. It does some things. It's okay. It's an elemental. And here is lithoforming. This one's really cool. You pay red X, sacrifice X lands. For each land sacrificed this way, draw a card. And you may play additional X additional lands this turn. And lands you control enter tapped. Card is insane. Like, if you have any of the Omnaths that care about landfall, you're going absolutely wild with this. With Ancient Green Warden, oof, I love it. But yeah, that's all the packages. Deck's pretty fun. It's a real stormy big mana deck. And yeah, let's get right into the games. You know, right into being after a couple seconds. I do have quite a few Brawl decks, so I'll be able to make a few deck techs. It's pretty fun. Let's get Omnath Tribal going. And all of my decks have a rating next to it that a friend of mine and I have been using to make our matches at least somewhat balanced. Okay, who's the first opponent gonna be? Oh, hopefully someone. Alright, Jetmir, Nexus of the Rebels. Or Nexus of Rebels. That is a very strong commander. This hand is kind of slow, but I'm gonna keep it. Kind of slow being I have to have my lands come in tapped, which is unfortunate. Oh, let's think about this. So now these two will come in untapped. All of my lands come in untapped now. Sweet. Just play this tapped. Jetmir is awesome. It is a Crater Hoof in the command zone for 4 mana. If you have 3 or more creatures, everything gets +1/+0 and gains or has vigilance. If you have 6 or more, gain +2/+0 and have vigilance and trample. 9 or more, +3/+0, vigilance, trample, and double strike. Absolutely wild. Because we got the Delighted Halfling, I'm gonna go 1/2 Explore Delighted Halfling or Arcane Signet Delighted Halfling, doesn't really matter. I'll go Signet Halfling for now. Just because Signet is all 5 of my colors. And so on turn 3, we're going to have 5 mana. And we'll play our Omnath and start drawing extra cards, hopefully. I think I am probably 3 or 4 turns away from dying right now to this deck. Assuming things go well. Could be wrong, but this is definitely a pretty quick deck. Unless they didn't draw a land, at which point, yeah. Skrull's Hive is good. It's like Bitter Blossom. You lose a life and get a 1/1 every turn. Very strong card. Alright, we've got ramp, and we've got removal. That's pretty good. I'm good for my opponent. I'm real proud. 1, 2. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get rid of Skrull's Hive here. Let's go land, explore, land. If I have one more mana, I don't think it makes a huge difference. Let's just go ahead and destroy the enchantment. Killing my Delighted Halfling was definitely the right call for my opponent, but I mean, Lightning Bolt is good. I guess I just have to assume they're also playing... okay. I have to assume they're also playing Swords to Plowshares. Alright. I believe I survived next turn, but probably not too long after that. So let's see what we can get going here. Probably just need to play Omnath and hope to play enough creatures to defend myself. But I do believe I'm nearing death now. Though my opponent only has 2 more cards. When they attack with Adeline, what have you, I get to block the 1/1 it makes, hopefully. Assuming they don't have more removal for me. Ooh, such nice lands. In this deck, I am running the Snow Basics because of Into the North. Okay, well, now they're making 2 1/1s on combat. Okay, yep. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, well, I am dead next turn then. Nice. Yeah, I do. I love Jetmir. I also have a Jetmir deck. I guess I'll block this one. It doesn't really matter too much. I'm trying to think if there are ways for me to get through it. I don't really think there are. Ramp. Float a mana. Yeah, I'm already dead. Oh my wa. No attack. And I'll just let him kill me. I'm not gonna deny them the pleasure of playing Jetmir and swinging. Good game. Yeah, I love Jetmir. Alright. The only thing I dislike about Jetmir is that usually your opponent dies on first strike, so you don't get to see the total amount of damage. So he's probably putting me to negative 60, 76, probably negative 86 since I started at 10. Yeah, that was losing to Jetmir. It definitely happens. Deck is excellent. Let's run it back. Move on into game 2 and see if we can get something going here. Just had a little scare. I thought my mic was muted this whole time. Not a fan. I'm probably going to add Chulane to the 99 of this deck. It would definitely help this pop off. Chulane is incredibly strong. Might as well be an elemental for this. This hand is kind of slow. But I have a Fauna Shaman and no other creatures to discard to it. A little awkward. But I'm going first. I can run this and then everything else comes in untapped. Yeah, okay. We'll keep. I don't even know who this commander is. And you're sapped. Jarina Dauntless General enters battlefield, exile player's graveyard. Sack it. Humans gain hexproof and indestructible. Okay, so just a human commander, I suppose. Well, that's fine. Let's see. If I play Fauna Shaman, next turn I'll have 3 mana. I think I do want to play the Fauna Shaman and maybe hold up the Delighted Halfling to sacrifice to get the, or discard rather, to get Risen Reef. and then very rapidly win the game from there. Hopefully. Ooh, I even have quasi-duplicate for Risen Reef. Yeah. This is the way. Okay, so I'm playing one set and discarding Delighted Halfling. Getting Risen Reef, having 2 mana left, maybe. Yeah, let's have the center tapped. And then pass the turn. We don't need to give the trick away. If I could find a Lotus Cobra or a Nisa, that would be awesome. Or another blue source for my quasi-duplicate. Discard the Delighted Halfling. Find myself 1 Reef. And now we go land, Risen Reef, Prey. Yeah, let's go land, Risen Reef, Prey. Guess we also go Elvish. Oh, I should have tutored up another creature with that. That was actually a huge mistake. Yeah, no, that's my bad. Hopefully I don't get punished for it. If they remove the Risen Reef, I'll be in a bit of, I mean, not trouble. Like, I'm not under any pressure from the Mentor of the Meek. Oh boy. Here we go. No sane person will let a Risen Reef live. Yeah. We're getting a land. Okay. Okay, Horn of Gondor. That is just fine by me. Nice. They tapped out. I imagine that I'm going to win from here. Honestly. Yep. Well, we'll make that trade. So we're going to go Snow-Covered Island. Quasi-duplicate the Reef. Get some triggers. Take action. Enters tapped. Take action. Enters tapped. Make a Rouse Reinforcements, or whatever. Play Rouse Reinforcements. Make some tokens. Get some triggers. Gain my opponent some life. Take an action. Take an action. Tutor up a land. Wow. This has been kind of wild. And I finally drew some cards. And one of them was a big old tutor. No attacks. Yeah. That was excellent. That was my 5th turn, so. Turn 5 going to 9 lands, plus an elf and 2 Risen Reefs is excellent. One of the lands wasn't Evolving Wilds, but that's okay. Yeah. That was fun. I love Risen Reef. Risen Reef is so cool. I'm glad it actually drew us some cards. If it just put a bunch of lands into play, it wouldn't be nearly as good, but... Oh. Yeah, this ought to have put the cards onto the bottom of the deck, not into your hand, if it wasn't a land. This was a mistake. That's okay, though. I forgive Wizards for making this awesome, fun mistake. Alrighty then. Do we just win the game here? Let's think about this for a moment. What do we get? Nisa, tutor up something. Yeah, let's go Nisa. So we're gonna Invasion of Ikoria for 3. We're just gonna auto pay. I'm not terribly worried about colors. I guess I could have gotten Lotus Cobra there. That was probably a mistake, but whatever. Getting a Nisa into play. Tapped. Resolve. Play a land, make a black mana. Assemble the team. Let's see what we hit. And then we're just going to quasi-duplicate another, oh my. There's an Ashaya and also an Eldritch Evolution. I think I'm going to take the Eldritch Evolution to try to go off this turn. Now we're going to quasi-duplicate Arisen Reef, discarding Burnished Heart. Gonna run out of time. Did a little bit too much thinking, but that's okay. I'm sure my opponent is going to concede soon. Resolve all. Take action. Generate a green mana. Play an elemental. Get 3 more triggers. Resolve all. So I need to hit 3 lands here, which is not gonna happen, but we'll still keep on making green mana. Take action. Oh wait, I actually do have it. Green. Then we sack our land to make a 3rd mana. To use Eldritch Evolution to grab... Ashaya is good. What else? Eldritch Evolution, sacking Tangled Florahedron. This will get us a 4-drop, so... I suppose I could Omnath their face, or I could just get a Spark Double. Make a clone of... Nisa. Alright. And then we pass the turn and hope they don't wipe the board. Oh boy. And this is what the deck does. No attacks. Like, even if they wipe the board right now, I just have so much mana. I can play Tetiova, get a bunch of lands, draw a bunch of cards. Yeah, they are gonna destroy all creatures. Nice. Wait, they didn't want to destroy all? You can choose both on this, so not killing my Nisa was a huge mistake there. A lot of people don't realize that it's one or both here, but that's okay. I'll forgive my opponent for this very silly mistake they made. Let's go ahead and play a land. I don't know why I made it come in on that side, but whatever. Make a green mana. Play this. Get some more green mana. Island. Plains. I'll make green and blue. I don't really know what I'm after here. Ooh, darn. Green. Blue. Play a Muldrotha. Guess I could have checked to see what I could play before I did that. Resolve. Cast a creature. Yeah, let's just cast a Delighted Halfling. No. Yes, attack this thing. I'll let them flip their Marchesa. That's fine by me. I almost declined that because I had the Marchesa up. What does this thing do? When it attacks, remove all the counters from a permanent. Being upkeep. If you haven't been dealt damage, draw a card and lose a life. That's fine. Green mana. Done. Okay, so the turn after a board wipe, I've got 5 creatures in play. 17 power total. Yeah. And my opponent is at 40. Now we are playing EDH. I wouldn't mind another board wipe. That would be fun. Alright. They've played a Dauntless General. My graveyard! I forgot who I'm playing against. My Risen Reef is gone forever. Okay, interesting. Alrighty. Yeah, he's going to draw an extra card from Marchesa. Oh no, are they actually wiping the board? They are, aren't they? That's awesome. Everything but my deleted halfling. Nice. Okay. We're playing a real game here. Let's just cast our Omnath. Cast our Omnath. We probably want to tear asunder the Marchesa of the Black Rose. Ooh, this is exciting. It's a fight. What are you waiting for? They do have Horn of Gondor. I probably need to destroy that. They might activate it here, but here, exile it. The fact that Tear Asunder exiles is the reason it's in here. It's just quite strong. Hello, opponent. Come on. No need to rope. Okay, well, this is unfortunate. I still have plenty of ways to win the game from here. Mostly some combination of Omnath and one of the Omnaths, an Ancient Green Warden, into Shia. That's one of the bad things about tutoring out your best creatures is when you get your board wiped, they're gone. I'm going to play Branch Loft, play this, play that. What? No. Resolve. I'm going to tear asunder the Horn of Gondor. They can activate it to make 2 creatures. Yeah, 2 tokens. I've got a scroll bar on my lands. I'm going to hold on to the Undercover Operative for now. Oh, come on, opponent. Don't do this. Pay attention to the game, not your phone or whatever it is you're doing. Okay. Not casting anything else this turn, I don't think. No attacks. End turn. I might want to put the Baldur's Gate gates in here so I can seek non-land cards if I ever flood, but we'll see. Resolve. They are drawing extra cards in addition to wiping the board every turn, which is something. I doubt they have another 3-mana board wipe. No, but they might have a 4-mana board wipe. Oh boy. Resolve. If they sack that and wipe the board again. Okay, cool. They're not going to wipe the board again, I hope. I'll take 3 damage. That is fine. No permanents to hit. Oh, they could hit my Invasion of Ikoria to give me my 8/8 early. But I don't think they want to do that. Unless they're wiping the board. Resolve. Pass the damage. Before my turn starts, I'm going to add all my mana to my mana pool. Now I have a bunch of extra black mana. Now we check the top card and then put it into our hand. Let's cast a Green Sun's Twilight for 10. How many cards are in the deck? Maybe 13. No particular reason for the number, I just feel like it's correct. Oh, opponent, please. When you have a bunch of free activated abilities like this, sacrifice to do a thing. Alright, we're getting an Omnath Locus of Rage. Battlefield. It always has it hang up on every action your opponent takes, which is kind of frustrating, but it's all good. I've dealt with being roped before, and I can deal with it now. So we're going Joyful Storm Sculptor, making some tokens. Then I do believe we are killing Marchesa. Well, actually, we're probably just killing Jarina. Resolve. Make some creatures. Resolve. Now if they wipe the board again, they're going to take a bunch of damage. Oh, I am out of basic lands. That is unfortunate. That's okay, though. I guess I should run a couple more basics, perhaps. I'm going to make a copy of Joyful Storm Sculptor. Give my opponent some life. Resolve. Resolve. And I'm going to have... Yeah. Omnath fight. Gonna have this token. There's no good way to do that. This elemental fight. There, 2/2. Okay. I think they've probably timed out enough times or something that just fired off immediately, but I don't really know. We'll attack this. If they double block, I can just fire off 3 damage at this thing. Or kill their Boromir, more likely. 4, 5. Good game. Okay, well, that was frustratingly slow, but it did get to display some of what the deck can do. Hopefully my next opponent will be slightly more courteous. So we got a loss in game 1, a win on game 2. And let's see what we can do with game 3. This will most likely be the last one, unless it's a complete non-game. Yeah, let's get right on into it. Oh, we have an opponent. Ooh, Zur Eternal Schemer. Turns enchantments into creatures with the lifelink and death touch. Lifelink, death touch, and hexproof. This hand is fine. Tear Asunder is nice. We'll start with Temple of Plenty. Scrying 1, keep. I probably do want to fill this deck with some more basics, now that I think about it. Well, that we keep on top, for sure. So next turn we go Snow Mountain, Leafkin Druid. Turn after that, Lotus Cobra, Obscura Storefront. Maybe cast something else, maybe not, we'll see. And cast a Druid, and pass the turn. So we could cast Terra Sunder or Rouse Reinforcements this coming turn. Honestly, that's fine by me. I might hold Terra Sunder back just so I can use it when he inevitably exiles one of my creatures with a O-Ring effect. Oh, there we go. We got the Elysian Caryatid. I was about to say, I bet that blue mana is for Wash Away for my commander, but apparently it was for a Brainstorm. Though I wouldn't be surprised if it was also for a Wash Away. I like these sleeves. And Obscura Storefront. Creating green mana and searching for a blue land most likely. Okay, creating a green mana. Actually, I have 3 mana here. Yeah, play the Caryatid. I could have worked that a little bit differently and then had the extra mana next turn, but slight missequencing isn't the end of the world. I could have played the Colony Ambush as a land. Then, yeah, that would have been slightly better. Alright, they've made the mistake of extorting that. And by that I mean they made the mistake of not keeping up the mana to activate this. Though I guess even if they had 1 more mana, wouldn't necessarily have protected them from what's coming. We've only got 1 elemental right now, so I can only deal 2 damage to something with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and play Big Omnath. Do I want to play a land? No, I think I'll hold off on that land. Alright. They can extort, but they choose not to because that just makes sense. Ooh, Clever Impersonator. Nice. Alright. Let's go ahead and play a Snow-Covered Forest. Creating a green mana. Then we will play Invasion of Zendikar. Adding a red and a black mana. And searching for a red and black land. Red, black. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 more creatures this adds 2. Creature with power. Okay, so these both add 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana total. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's so awkward. Green, green. Undo. Blue, blue. Green, green. Alright. Now we cast this for that amount. Oh, this is awkward and unfortunate. Yeah, I messed up here. I guess we go like this then. Now we have, what, 5 elementals? You can just kill their commander, or I can kill that. I'll kill their Omnath. Go to combat, swing there, swing here. Kill, kill. Yeah, slightly mis-sequenced all that, but that's not the end of the world. I'll landfall trigger, put a +1/+1 counter on here. And make another green mana. And go to the end of combat. Well, I do have quite the well-developed board. And we win. Alright, so we got 2 wins and a loss. I'll take that record. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure playing today. Thank y'all so much for watching. This has been The Art of Dying, and I'll see you next time.